Hey everyone, my name's Catherine. Welcome back to my channel. I make videos about dyeing, upcycling, and sewing. Today I'm going to do a video about how I made these beautiful quilted shibori pillows. You can see I'm in a sea of shibori, which I love. I just love shibori. I teach online shibori workshops and I always have a lot of demos after I'm done, so I keep them, and then every once in a while I do a big scrap busting project. I also do a lot of full-size shibori pillows, and then I have like scraps, and I cannot bear to throw any of the scraps away. I don't know if you're like that, but I have a humongous fabric collection and this is a great project to do to get rid of some of those scraps and put them to good use. So I'm going to show you my process of how I mix and match fabrics, and I kind of go through the compositions of lights and darks with the shibori, and also how I sew them together. These pillows are for sale on my website, or you can just watch for inspiration to make your own scrap busting type of project. So without further ado, I'm going to show you my process for making these beautiful shibori pillows.
So the first thing you're going to do is go through your fabrics and analyze them, and here I am just looking through all of my different scraps and demos from my workshops. I have some lights and darks, and I'm kind of analyzing the shapes and the different patterns on them. I also like to kind of make sure that the weights that I'm putting together work together. So I don't want to put anything that's really thick with something that's really thin. And then as far as the patterns go, I like to kind of mix and match darks and lights and medium tones, just to make sure that the pillow has as much visual interest as possible. I'm also looking through the pieces to see if there's any pieces that are more spectacular than others that I want to really feature on the face of the pillow. So normally there's usually like one piece in each pillow that is kind of the main focus, and then there's other pieces that go and complement to that one. So I'm just looking through all of them to see. So once I pick out my favorite pieces, I'm going to start to put them together and play with the lights and darks of the layout. And if some pieces are big and I want to use them for multiple pieces, I'll try to make sure to only use about half of it so that I can get like a sister pillow. Because a lot of times people like to get two pillows together that sort of match. They're obviously not going to match perfectly, but I do want them to be similar. So once I get them to a place where I think they're working, I will just start by sewing the pieces together, and then I will keep the scraps on the side, and I'll just keep them in a pile and use them for more pillows as I go. All right, so I pressed this seam here, and now I'm going to trim this piece to fit this pattern piece. So I want to make sure that it's going to fit, which it looks like it will, and you'll get a little bit of white, a little bit of medium, and a little bit of dark over here. So anyway, I think that's looking good. I might pull this out a little more just so I can get more left over of this, so I can do one more pillow with this one. But I'm going to trim this piece next. Okay, so the next combination I'm liking is this. I like how this is dark on the bottom, light on the top, and medium on the left here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by sewing these two pieces together, and then I'm going to press them and sew them to the stripy piece, and then I'm going to cut them into a perfect square. Okay, so it's pinned, and on this side you get this like really pretty color differentiation, and on this side you can see it is the two pieces that we just sewed. And you know what, I'm going to make sure that this is going the other way before I sew it. So I'm going to serge it up, and I like to use my serger because it just gives me really clean seams on the inside. And I pressed it and put it on the floor to lay out, and I'm going to put my pattern piece on top and cut out the square. So here I am, I'm just pinning it and cutting it. There is the first pillow layout, just so you can see how it turned out. And I'm going to do the second one too. So here's the second one. So the way this always works is they go in like pairs or in little spurts. So here now I'm going to use the leftover pieces that I have to make that sister pillow. And I'm going to sew up these polka dot pieces to make a long strip that can go with the other strips that I have already. So I sewed them together, and now I'm going to sew them to the other pieces that I sewed together already. And yes, I'm using pins with my serger, but I'm just being very careful to not sew over the pins, of course. So once it's sewn, I press it, and then I'm going to get it laid out with the pattern piece on top so that I can get another face cut out. So what I do is I always just do all of the pillow faces first, and then after I get them all done, I will cut out the backs, and I usually do an envelope back for these pillows. And I'm going to be using another piece of shibori for the backs of the pillows, so they're all going to be matching for the back. I love doing this kind of improv quilting or improv scrap busting type projects. I have multiple other videos about doing scrap busting type of projects, and I'll link them in the description down below in case you're interested in checking them out. So here I'm going to use this sort of bullseye pattern or a mandala type of pattern, and I'm just taking a minute to kind of like analyze the piece and see exactly how I'm going to use it. At first I was thinking I could use just half of it and be able to get 2 pillows from it. So I'm just kind of like playing with the layout here, and I just wanted to kind of show you guys sort of how my thought process goes when it comes to these types of pillows. It's good to have a lot of scraps when you're doing this kind of project so that you can just play with the different pieces together and visualize how they're going to look. I like these colors together. I think it's a really nice balance of the medium blue, the darker blue, and then the more white pattern. But I'm going to have to use the entire mandala piece. So I'm just measuring it against my pattern, trying to make sure to get the best parts. I don't want to waste. You can accidentally sew the wrong parts and then it's too small, and then you just wasted your time and space. So what do they say? Measure twice, cut once. That one I was thinking about, but I don't think it works. I like this one better. And it fits just about perfectly. So I'm just going to eyeball it with that one, and then I'm going to trim the little extra seam out of that one and sew it to this mandala piece first. So first I'm going to sew the little dark stripe to the mandala, and then I'm going to press it. Then after that, I'm going to sew the side piece that is the white and blue lighter piece. So that is going to complete it, and I'm going to press it again before I cut it out with my pattern. Pressing in between each of the seams that you makes it a lot straighter and nicer, and it's definitely always recommended when quilting. So there, it lines up just perfectly, and I'm going to just cut it out from my pattern. So there it is, and I'm going to put it in my pile of pillow faces that are ready to be put with the backs, and here it is finished. So next I have this really nice itajimi piece that has kind of like a ombre effect on it. Like the sides of it are a little bit darker and the middle of it has more resist, and I just think it's really nice. So I'm going to play with the smaller scraps that I have just to kind of see exactly what I have available. I really like this light and dark pattern here, and I used it on another one, so I would really like to use it with a different pillow, and it's just wide enough to fit on my pattern. So now I just need to find something to go on the bottom, and that one's nice because it has a nice distribution of dark and white. So in the end, I decided to go with that one, and I'm just going to trim all of the little strings and start by sewing the first two together. Let me know down in the comment section below if you guys have ever done any improv quilting or crazy quilting or any kind of scrap busting projects, and what kind of fabrics you guys have in your fabric stashes. I have a huge fabric stash, obviously, and I could do a video of all of my fabric in my fabric stash if you guys want to see it. So let me know down in the comments what kind of fabric stash you have and what kind of scrap busting projects you enjoy. So I got it all sewed up and I pressed it, and now I'm going to cut out the perfect square with my pattern piece and add it to my pile of pillow faces ready to have a back put on. Here is the finished pillow for that layout.
All right, so I'm using up most of my big pieces, and I have just a few more here that are nice, and then I have a bunch of scraps here that I'm not sure what I'll do with yet, but I kind of like this combination, so I think I'm going to make another face out of this one. So I'm going to start with sewing these two first.
So I start by serging together the dark one and the medium one, and afterwards I serged the lighter one with the equilateral triangle on it. I really like this combination with the lights and the darks, and this darker crumply one on the corner actually has a kind of nice jacquard texture to it. It's not too thick, but it gives it a really nice sort of high quality feeling because it's just a tiny bit thicker. So I'm going to cut out the piece, and I'm just making sure to save all the scraps for possibly more pillows. So after I'm done cutting this one out, it's going to be ready to have a back put on it. There it is, and it's going onto my pile of pillow faces. This is the finished layout for that. I managed to get one more layout with this equilateral triangle, and then I had a really nice linen that was kind of almost like a Rorschach pattern. So here is the finished layout for that one. Turned out really nice.
All right, so this is my stack of quilted pillows that I've made, and I still have to put the backing on them, but I'm gonna just flip through them for you. One. And I did quilted pillows before, and I realized that I liked them better when they kind of have like big pieces. So these ones I kind of kept the pieces big. Sometimes when you're doing them, it doesn't make sense to have really big pieces, but I tried to just keep them somewhat big. This is like a 20 by 20 pillow, so you know, I would want to feature like parts of the pillow that, or parts of the pattern that make the most sense, and then like pair them with, you know, a lighter one and a darker one. It's kind of up to you how you want to do it, but that's how I like to think of it. And I also think that these like vertical quilt pieces are really nice. It just really depends on like the pattern of the fabric, because you don't want to like cut off the like the coolest part, obviously. Excuse me. This one here, some stripes, some abstract, and some polka dots. Here's some more. So I feel like some of these could like go together almost as like sets a little bit, but they all can really stand on their own as well. So all of these now have to be backed still, which is what I'm going to work on now. But I kind of wanted to show you guys like a rundown of how they all look before I sew them up.
Once I know how many pillow faces I need, I can cut out the pieces for the back. I'm doing an envelope back and hem them all at one time. Here it is with the back on it. And here they are all together. They look so cute, I think. They look great on your bed or your sofa. And I just love the blue and the white combinations. I think it's so classic and it goes with literally everything. So like I said, these are available on my website and you can go to onyxartstudios.com to check them out. Let me know down in the comments if you have done Shibori pillows before or if you have a lot of fun scraps that you think would make a really great quilted pillow. Be sure to check out my other pillow making videos. I will put them in the description down below and link them at the end of this video so you can see all different kinds of pillow inspiration. I love making pillows and I love decorating my living room and bedroom with these pillows. Pillows are a really easy, affordable way of giving the entire room a refresh. Like you don't have to buy new furniture. You can just add a pillow to your sofa and it really kind of changes the whole feeling of the room. These are filled with the classic 20 by 20 IKEA pillows. They're super easy to find and get. So have fun making pillows. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. You can follow me on social media at onyxartstudios.com and check out my website for online workshops and classes. Be sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed this video and check out these other videos about sewing pillows from my channel. Have fun sewing your own pillows and I will see you guys next time. Bye!